Hello everyone and welcome to this lecture on social harmony. I am delighted to have you all with me today. In this session, we will be discussing a concept that is central to peaceful coexistence, social stability and sustainable development in any society, especially in the context of increasing diversity and global interdependence. Human societies are composed of individuals and groups who differ in culture, language, religion, economic status and social background. How these differences are understood, respected and managed determines whether a society moves towards cooperation and progress or towards conflict and fragmentation. Social harmony provides the framework through which diversity can become a source of strength rather than division. Dear students, by the end of this lecture, you will be able to understand the meaning and nature of social harmony, explain its philosophical foundations, identify its major dimensions, recognize its importance for individual well-being and societal development, examine the challenges that threaten social harmony in the contemporary world and appreciate the crucial role of education in promoting harmonious social relationships. With this understanding, let us now begin our discussion by exploring the concept and meaning of social harmony. Social harmony is one of the most essential foundations of peaceful, stable and progressive society. In a world characterized by diversity of cultures, religions, languages, ideologies and lifestyles, the ability of individuals and groups to live together with mutual respect and cooperation has become increasingly important. Social harmony does not simply mean the absence of conflict, rather it represents a positive condition in which individuals and communities coexist peacefully, acknowledge differences and work collectively for common goals. In contemporary societies, social harmony faces serious challenges due to rising intolerance, economic inequalities, political polarization, misuse of religion, misinformation and weakening of social institutions. These challenges make it necessary to understand social harmony not merely as a moral ideal, but as a practical necessity for sustainable development and human survival. This module provides a comprehensive understanding of social harmony by examining its conceptual meaning, philosophical foundations, dimensions, significance, challenges and the crucial role of education in fostering harmonious social relations. It also discusses practical mechanisms that can help build and sustain social harmony in diverse societies. Social harmony refers to a state of peaceful coexistence, mutual understanding, cooperation and balance among individuals and groups within a society. It implies a social environment where diversity is respected, conflicts are resolved through dialogue and individuals feel secure, valued and included. Unlike mere tolerance, social harmony involves active engagement with diversity. It encourages understanding, empathy and cooperation among people of different cultural, religious, social and economic backgrounds. A harmonious society is one in which differences are not suppressed, but managed constructively for collective well-being. Some of the key components of social harmony are peaceful coexistence. Social harmony requires conditions in which individuals and communities can live together without fear, violence or hostility. It goes beyond temporary peace agreements and involves long-term trust and mutual respect. Number second, mutual respect and understanding. Respect for diversity is central to social harmony. Different beliefs, traditions, and lifestyles are seen as enriching rather than threatening. This requires openness, dialogue, and willingness to understand others' perspectives. Number three, cooperation and collective responsibility. Harmonious societies promote cooperation among individuals and groups. People work together towards shared goals such as development, justice, and environmental sustainability. Number four, justice and equality. Fair treatment, equal opportunities, and protection of rights are essential for harmony. Persistent inequality and discrimination create resentment and conflict, undermining social cohesion. Number five, shared values and social identity. While respecting diversity, social harmony also requires common values such as respect for human dignity, democratic principles, and concern for collective well-being. Now, coming to the philosophical foundations of social harmony. Dear learners, Indian philosophy provides deep insights into the idea of social harmony. Ancient texts emphasize unity, interconnectedness, and ethical responsibility towards others. The famous expression Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu reflects the vision of universal happiness and collective well-being. It suggests that individual welfare is inseparable from the welfare of society. It's a classic Sanskrit shlok that roughly translates to, "May all beings everywhere be happy and free from suffering." It's a universal prayer of goodwill, not just for a single person or group, but for the whole of existence. The idea is that true peace comes when we wish the same well-being for everyone, cutting across borders, religions, and identities. In everyday life, it's often used as a reminder to cultivate compassion and to act in ways that spread happiness rather than harm. By this, you are aligning your mind with the principle that sees humanity and indeed all life as a single, interconnected whole. That alignment can shift attitudes, soften judgments, and in the long run, nudge collective behavior towards more compassionate, sustainable ways of living. Advaita Vedanta and unity in diversity. Advaita Vedanta teaches Ekam Eva Advityam, meaning one alone exists without a second. According to this philosophy, all apparent diversity is grounded in an underlying spiritual unity. Every individual possesses the same divine essence, Atman. This vision dissolves artificial divisions based on caste, class, gender, race, or religion. Social harmony from this perspective arises not by enforcing uniformity, but by recognizing unity within diversity. When that unity is realized through knowledge, love, or direct experience, the divisions that cause strife lose their grip and unity in diversity becomes more than a slogan. It becomes the lived truth. The diversity we observe is real, but it rests on a shared foundation. Concept of Swadharma. Swadharma, a Sanskrit term that literally means one's own duty or one's own path, is a cornerstone of Indian philosophical and spiritual thought, especially in the Bhagavad Gita and the broader tradition of Dharma. At its heart, Swadharma is the idea that each individual has a unique set of responsibilities, talents, and inclinations that arise from their nature, station in life, and stage of development. Acting in accordance with that inner law leads to harmony, fulfillment, and the smooth functioning of society. Ignoring it creates discord both within the person and within the world around them. The idea of Sadharma emphasizes fulfilling one's natural role and responsibilities in society according to one's abilities and stage of life. Social harmony emerges when individuals perform their duties with integrity, selflessness, and respect for others' roles. Rather than making everyone identical, this approach values functional diversity and interdependence. Society functions harmoniously when different roles complement one another. In essence, Swadharma is the personal expression of the universal order Dharma. It invites each of us to ask, what is the work that only I can do, and how can I do it with integrity and devotion? When that question guides our choices, the gap between individual purpose and collective well-being narrows and life flows with a quiet, resonant harmony. Varna and ashram system. Though often misinterpreted in contemporary times, these traditional concepts were intended as fluid spiritual archetypes representing different nature-based functions in society rather than rigid hereditary hierarchies. The underlying principle is that diverse roles are necessary for societal functioning, and harmony comes from recognizing interdependence and performing one's role with integrity. Modern thinkers emphasize transparency, dialogue, human rights, and democratic participation as foundations of social harmony. In pluralistic societies, harmony requires continuous negotiation, inclusion, and institutional support. Now, coming to another important objective of today's session, the dimensions of social harmony. Social harmony is a multi-dimensional concept. It does not operate in isolation, but functions across various domains of social life. To understand it clearly, let us examine its major dimensions one by one. First, the cultural dimension. Cultural harmony involves the recognition, respect, and appreciation of diverse cultural traditions, languages, art forms, and customs. It does not imply cultural uniformity or homogenization. Rather, it emphasizes peaceful coexistence within diversity. Social harmony requires celebrating cultural differences and acknowledging them as valuable contributions to society. When different cultures are respected and understood, mutual trust and cooperation are strengthened. Next, the religious and spiritual dimension. In religiously diverse societies, social harmony depends on respect for different faiths and belief systems. This includes protecting religious freedom while preventing the misuse of religion to promote hatred, discrimination, or violence. Religious harmony is fostered through dialogue among different faith communities and by identifying shared ethical values that transcend specific religious boundaries. Moving on to the economic dimension. Economic harmony is closely linked to the equitable distribution of resources and opportunities. Extreme economic inequality often leads to social unrest, resentment, and conflict. Inclusive economic development supports social harmony by reducing deprivation and exclusion, ensuring access to education, employment, and basic services for all members of society is essential for maintaining economic balance and social stability. Another important dimension is the political dimension. Political harmony involves inclusive governance, democratic participation, and the protection of minority rights. When individuals and groups feel represented, heard, and respected in decision-making processes, they are more likely to trust institutions and cooperate with one another. Political harmony is achieved by creating systems that allow diverse voices to participate meaningfully in governance. Now, let us consider the social dimension. At the interpersonal level, social harmony requires the reduction of prejudice, discrimination, and stereotyping. Regular interaction among individuals from different social groups helps build empathy, understanding, and mutual respect. Developing perspective-taking abilities and appreciating human diversity are essential elements of social harmony at this level. Finally, the ecological dimension. Social harmony also includes harmony between human beings and nature. Sustainable use of natural resources and environmental responsibility are critical for long-term social stability. Increasingly, social harmony is understood to involve protecting the environment, promoting sustainable development, and ensuring balance between human needs and ecological well-being. Together, these dimensions highlight that social harmony is a comprehensive and interconnected concept, essential for peaceful coexistence and sustainable development in society. Dear students, let us now try to understand the importance of social harmony. Social harmony serves as a foundational element for societal development and human flourishing across multiple dimensions. Societies that cultivate strong social harmony experience greater stability, reduced conflict and violence, allowing communities to redirect resources from conflict management towards development initiatives. This peaceful foundation creates an environment where individuals and institutions build mutual trust, enabling resolution of disputes through constructive dialogue rather than confrontation. Beyond security, societies characterized by social harmony demonstrate significantly higher levels of individual and collective well-being. Community members experienced reduced stress and anxiety, improved mental health, and greater life satisfaction when embedded in cohesive communities that provide genuine support, belonging, and social connection. The psychological benefits of feeling valued and included create positive ripple effects throughout society, enhancing both personal resilience and collective capacity to address challenges. Dear students, the transformative impact of social harmony extend to economic, cultural, and institutional domains of society. When social cohesion is strong, society can effectively mobilize diverse resources and collaborative efforts towards shared goals, facilitating solutions to complex problems including poverty alleviation, disease management, environmental sustainability, and technological advancement, resulting in measurably better outcomes in health, education, and economic indicators. Historical evidence consistently demonstrates that periods of social harmony correlate with cultural and creative renaissance, as individuals who feel secure and valued channel their energies into artistic, literary, scientific, and philosophical pursuits that enrich civilization. Fundamentally, social harmony generates trust, which functions as critical social capital by reducing transaction costs, enabling efficient economic exchange, facilitating cooperation on public goods, and strengthening civil society institutions. Communities characterized by high trust prove more resilient and adaptive when confronting crises and disruptions. Perhaps most profoundly, social harmony prevents the devastating human and material costs of wars, communal violence, and social upheaval tragedies that displace populations, destroy livelihoods, and inflict generational trauma, making the cultivation of peaceful coexistence not merely an idealistic aspiration but a practical imperative for human survival and flourishing. In short, we can say social harmony plays a vital role in the overall development of society. Harmonious societies experience greater stability and security, allowing resources to be used for development rather than conflict management. Trust and cooperation reduce violence and social unrest. Social harmony enhances individual and collective well-being. People living in cohesive communities experience lower stress, better mental health, and higher life satisfaction. Economically, social harmony facilitates cooperation, reduces transaction costs, and strengthens social capital. Research shows that societies with high trust achieve better outcomes in education, health, and economic growth. Culturally, harmony encourages creativity, innovation, and artistic expression. Historically, periods of social harmony have coincided with cultural and intellectual flourishing. Most importantly, social harmony prevents the devastating human and material costs of communal violence, war, and social breakdown. It is therefore not a luxury but a practical necessity. Dear learners, let us now shift our focus to the challenge to social harmony. Contemporary societies face a range of complex challenges that systematically undermine social harmony and threaten peaceful coexistence. Let us examine some of the key challenges. Socio-political polarization, intensified by media fragmentation and algorithmic amplification of sensational content. Polarization creates ideological echo chambers. In these spaces, individuals encounter predominantly confirming viewpoints, which erodes their capacity for genuine dialogue and understanding across differences. Rising intolerance towards minorities. Religious, ethnic, and cultural minorities often face discrimination, hate speech, and even communal violence. Such intolerance generates cycles of fear, revenge, and deepening social divisions. Economic inequality. Widening gaps between wealthy and marginalized populations breed resentment and social instability. When significant portion of society feels excluded from economic opportunities and development benefits, social cohesion suffers. Persistent discrimination. Discrimination based on caste, religion, gender, and other identity markers denies vulnerable groups equal opportunities and human dignity. This fragments societal cohesion and perpetuates conflict. Weakening democratic institutions. Corruption, lack of accountability, and authoritarian pressures erode public trust in peaceful conflict resolution mechanisms. Marginalized groups may then resort to extra-institutional or even violent responses to address grievances. Fundamentalist movements. Groups claiming a monopoly on truth often demonize those with differing beliefs. Such movements manipulate social forces towards hatred and violence, directly contradicting the principles of social harmony. Unresolved historical injustice. Intergenerational traumas, especially when perpetrators remain unaccountable and victims unheard, perpetuate cycles of resentment and conflict. Historical wounds, if unhealed, continue to poison contemporary relationships. Digital misinformation and disinformation. The digital age has accelerated the spread of false information, inflaming communal tensions, manipulating public opinion, and undermining informed democratic deliberation. Weaponized narratives targeting specific communities can be particularly dangerous. Weak enforcement of equality laws. Even when legal frameworks protect rights, inconsistent enforcement allows discrimination to persist. Vulnerable groups witnessing selective application of laws often develop cynicism and discontent, further eroding faith in institutions designed to ensure fairness and belonging. These challenges show that social harmony is fragile and requires active effort, awareness, and commitment from individuals, communities, and institutions alike. Coming to the last objective of today's session, the role of education in promoting social harmony. Dear students, education plays a central and transformative role in fostering social harmony. Beyond the simple transmission of academic knowledge, it serves as a cornerstone institution for shaping attitudes, values, and social skills that are essential for peaceful coexistence. Through education, learners develop empathy, respect for diversity, critical thinking, and collaborative abilities, all of which enable them to navigate differences constructively. By cultivating these qualities, education helps build inclusive communities, reduce prejudice, and promote understanding among diverse populations, making it a vital tool for sustaining social harmony in society. Education is a key engine for weaving a society together and fostering social harmony. Its impact can be seen in several interconnected ways, such as instilling common values. Schools teach respect, fairness, empathy, and the rule of law. When these ideas are modeled by teachers, they become a shared moral language that bridges ethnic, religious, and linguistic differences. Broadening perspectives. Curricula that present history, literature, and science from multiple cultural angles help learners recognize that no single story holds all truth. This exposure cuts down stereotypes and encourages people to consider others' points of view. Cultivating critical thinking. An education that rewards questioning, analysis, and debate makes it harder for simplistic us versus them narratives to take hold. Critical thinkers are less likely to be swayed by extremist rhetoric and more inclined to engage in constructive dialogue. Promoting cooperation. Group projects, sports, arts, and community service bring together students from varied backgrounds to work towards common goals. These experiences teach negotiation, teamwork, and the reality that collaboration yields results no one could achieve alone. Ensuring equitable access. When schooling is free, safe, and tailored to the needs of marginalized groups, it removes structural inequalities that fuel resentment. Inclusive schools signal that every child's future matters, nurturing a sense of belonging. Teaching civic responsibility. Knowledge of rights, duties, and democratic processes empowers citizens to participate meaningfully in public life. An informed electorate is less vulnerable to divisive politics and more supportive for policies that benefit the whole community. Modeling respectful behavior. Teachers, administrators, and senior students act as role models. When educators demonstrate humility, active listening, and effective conflict resolution, they set standards that ripple through the wider community. Dear students, we can say education is far more than the transmission of facts. It shapes attitudes, builds relational skills, and creates a shared identity rooted in mutual respect. By embedding these elements at every level of schooling, societies lay a foundation on which lasting social harmony can be built. Social harmony can be built and sustained through regular dialogue and intercultural exchange, truth and reconciliation process, community-based initiatives, inclusive governance, social safety nets and economic support, responsible media and cultural programs, strong legal frameworks and enforcement, sustained engagement, trust building, and institutional commitment are essential for long-term harmony. Concluding today's session, we can say that social harmony is a multidimensional and dynamic process, essential for peaceful coexistence and sustainable development. Thank you all for your attentive listening and active engagement throughout this lecture. I hope our discussion has given you a deeper understanding of social harmony and its vital role in education and human development. With that, we come to the end of today's session. I wish you all the very best in applying these insights to your learning and daily life. Goodbye and take care.